Let me introduce you to Worcestershire Community Foundation. It's part of a network of community foundations throughout Britain and in many other parts of the world. In fact, in Great Britain, community foundations are the biggest source of funding for local community projects. Foundations work by building up an endowment, a stock of money that's invested, and the proceeds in the investment are distributed to worthy projects. Now, here in Worcestershire, we've built up an endowment of almost £500,000 through philanthropic donations. Donors can have their own dedicated fund and determine what types of organisations they're willing to make grants to, or they can contribute to a general fund and leave it to our grant panel to decide worthy projects. In any case, we keep donors advised of donations made and provide ongoing feedback if wanted. We ensure that the money's properly spent and have a system of checks to ensure that it's not used for any other purpose than the one we agreed. We also manage donations for other groups. For example, Comic Relief Sport Aid, which gives us some income in order to cover our overheads. The trustees are all business people who give their time free of charge and who recognise the need to keep overheads to a minimum whilst maintaining the highest standards of probity. I say we because I'm a patron of the foundation, along with Lord Cobham, Lady Morrison, Michael Brinton, who's Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant for Worcestershire, and the Very Reverend John Inge, who's the Bishop of Worcester. The board of the foundation are responsible for the operation of the charity, and it's comprised of local people with the necessary experience to ensure that progress is made with integrity. All endowment funds are placed in ethical investments through St James Place Partnership. This DVD gives you a taste of the ways that we've helped local people, and I hope that you'll be encouraged to talk to us about the many ways that you can help us, whether it's by making a donation now or at some time in the future, or joining our Worcestershire 100 Club that will provide us with funds to make grants from capital.
Almost felt like I wasn't doing my job properly. I seemed to be doing things and everything seemed to be getting lots worse because it doesn't matter where I turned to, I just ran into the same problems all over again. I was ready to say, please somebody come and take him away.
I think the goal of working with families eventually is to make them self-sufficient and be able to deal with the issues and the problems themselves. My name's Sarah, I work for the Worcestershire Family Intervention Project. We support families in a very intensive way, which is very different to other agencies. Bad school attendance and behaviour issues, it could be to do with debt issues, it could be to do with eviction, and if those cycles aren't broken now, when they become parents and have families, then they're going to need services and agencies involved. So it's about breaking the cycles for that future.
I'm Rebecca, I have 3 children. My oldest is 14, my girl's 12 and my youngest is 7, which is a little boy. My eldest son was having a lot of problems through getting into trouble at school, out on the estate and at home, fighting with his sister and brother. That was leading to marks as well on his sister and his brother. Social services thought it would be a really good idea that Family Intervention Project got involved with us.
Rebecca was very low in self-confidence when I started working with her. She was just mum in the household, but she wasn't a parent, she wasn't in control.
Sarah Kirby-Davis is my project worker. She's been absolutely fab. Whenever I've had a problem, I could always go to her because other services had failed us. We've become a family, not 5 individuals living in a household. We are a family unit now.
It's very rewarding to have worked with Rebecca. I think the outcome could have been very different if she hadn't have worked with the Family Intervention Project.
So she's been absolutely great. Wouldn't have coped without her.
Currently the Family Intervention Project is funded from Children's Services, Probation and Housing. We're very passionate about the work we do and the work that we do with families. If this funding wasn't to continue, all the families that we've worked with and the differences that we've made wouldn't have happened.
They don't criticise, they don't come into your house and say you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. They're actually there to help, they're there for you and your family.
those who may be marginalised, those who are ostracised, those who feel out on the edge. This is a place so inclusive that all can come. My name is the Reverend Chris Wingfield. I'm the Vicar of St John's and here at St Andrews. It was felt that there was something that the church could offer to the community which was not a religious aspect, but something that the community could join in with. And something like gardening just appeals to all. It's a very inclusive part of what people can do. And it produces good results as well. They're tangible.
My name's John Bentley. I'm a Church Army officer working for the ABC project here in Charford. My role is a kind of daily oversight of the garden and the men that come to the garden to work on it. The garden was started because we felt there was something that we could offer the community, somewhere for people on the community who had no other means of activity or employment, where they could come and spend time. There's obviously the produce, which we not only grow but eat. It's organic, it's grown and people have grown with it.
The grant itself was fundamental to the start of this garden and this project, without which it probably wouldn't have got started. It enabled us to do what we wanted to do, to get the ball rolling, to get the beds, to get the finance going. They sowed the seed and we've just reaped the harvest.
The sort of people who've benefited from this project are men, single men on the estate, unemployed or other issues, and they've become a community and group in their own right and have made this project what it is today.
Here it's very inclusive, nobody's excluded, and I think it appeals to those people who just have a need to feel appreciated.
Instead of drifting, they've been directed. So it's given them direction and focus and worth. An offer of help, it's seen as something that people can access. It's free. And people don't often hear that word in today's society.
It really is a place of community.
The apprenticeship scheme at the Community Housing Group is a very important part of our business strategy. It's key to our succession planning, and it was something we were very keen to do right from the beginning of our business. We wanted to be more than a social landlord. We wanted to provide job opportunities for local people and particularly people living in our homes. We started the scheme at the very beginning of our business in March 2000. It was a very key part of our succession planning strategy. We wanted to invest in the local community by offering young people employment. I think people traditionally think that apprenticeships are for 16-year-olds, but actually we're looking at the 18 to 24 age range. The way we fund our apprenticeships at the moment is that we actually fund them through external funding. We have a large organisation here. We've got opportunities to provide apprenticeships in all areas of our business. I think what apprenticeships bring is a real fresh angle to your business, and they bring a freshness and an enthusiasm, and that's very important for the future sustainability of any business.
For a long period last year I was unemployed and I found it really tough to find a job. I wanted a job that I could develop as a person and learn new skills. And the apprenticeship gave me the opportunity to learn something, grow as a person and take part in something that I'd never done before. The apprenticeship scheme's really helped me as a person. It's helped me gain confidence and learn new skills. It's also helped me earn a wage and support myself at the same time, which I find really useful. I work for the marketing department for the Community Housing Group. I get to take part in different designs and events. A part of what we do is photography and videoing, where we go out to people and get feedback about our services to see how we can improve and what people want. Without the apprenticeship scheme, I think I'd still be looking for a job, or I'd have a job that kind of restrained what I could do as a person. I think it's useful for a company to have an apprenticeship scheme because it gives the young person a chance to see what it's like in a proper working environment. They can learn new skills at the same time and help build things like confidence and help them self-develop and become more independent.
I think a key part of what makes us want to come to work every day is that we're actually making an impact on the local community and we're making an impact, a positive impact on people's lives. I think everybody wants to feel at the end of their day job that they've made a difference, and this scheme helps us to do that.
The Walk Like the Warrior project is a series of 10 weeks where I've taken students out to the stadium at Six Ways, and we've undertaken a series of activities, half of which have been classroom based using the Apple Macs. The other half has been playing rugby and coaching rugby.
It's working on their teamwork, their communication skills. We do a lot of activities that involve them creating games and their leadership skills and communicating with one another. The main aim of the project is working on their teamwork skills, hopefully get them to work better in school with their teachers and people around them.
We wanted to look at the skills of communication, teamwork, team building, problem solving, and allow the students some time and some space that's not a classroom, that's somewhere totally different where they can work through some of those skills and try and develop them into a state where they could then use them back in school.
The project was started both with the Warriors and with the police force, working together to try and re-engage pupils back into the school environment. It's been funded by various charities. Without the charities funding it, we wouldn't have been able to continue with the project.
The type of students that we've taken onto this project, some of them have got behavioural difficulties, they're totally disengaged with school. I've got other students that have got self-esteem issues, but what we've been able to do is bring these students together, and each one of them has succeeded and taken some skills away from it.
I decided to go on the project because I was offered to, and I thought it would be a great experience.
I think the project's very valuable to the students that come on it. Seeing the progression in them over the 10 weeks and how their confidence builds, how they speak to one another, what they take away from it, and the response we get from teachers into how they've been after the project shows a lot of what they've gained. And I think without it, maybe their confidence and their teamwork abilities wouldn't have grown at all.
The course has been really effective because it's broken up into 2 sections. It means that the students are getting a real variety, and it's also hitting a number of skills that we just can't touch in school. I've got students now that'll talk to you, whereas before their head would be down and they wouldn't say anything to anyone. I've got other students that have suddenly realised that actually sport is something they could really pursue, and I've been able to work as part of their team and get to know them as people, and that's really benefited us back in school.
Other people would benefit from the project. By the end of the project, they'd know how to communicate to people and students in their school.
The project has taught me how to work in teams, make decisions and cooperate with other people.
Feckenham is a very old village, and it's got about 800 people living in it of all ages.
We did have a shop up to 20 years ago, quite a big one. Hard economic circumstances forced the closure of that about 1990.
Since then, obviously, we've had to travel to the local supermarkets. So if you need anything, it's a question of getting in the car and moving there, which has changed the balance of the community in the village.
It originated from a parish plan. People were asked questions about what they would like to have that they didn't have already. One of the things that came out of it was a village shop.
After 19 years of not having a shop, it was decided that it was time we did. And the way to do that, we decided, was on a community basis, which is how we've organised the shop. And I think you've got to remember that in setting up a village shop from scratch, at a time when village shops are going down, was quite a challenge, and you had to have a very disciplined, professional approach to how you were going to make it happen.
The next step was fundraising, getting together a team of people to make the shop happen. We started to raise our own funds, and then we started to think about applying for grants.
Without the grants, we'd have been struggling to raise sufficient money to get the place looking like it is in a very fit state, and also to stock it and buy the equipment that we needed to get going.
We opened at the end of January 2.5 years ago.
It works through our volunteers. Nobody's paid to work here, everybody's a volunteer, so it's a cooperative effort.
So it's a very sociable thing, and also they're learning new skills.
The principles are that we try to buy local goods, we try to buy and sell organic goods, and we tried to promote fair trade.
A lot of our things are made here, from greetings cards to ducks' eggs, are from the village.
I think it has been a benefit to the community because it's provided one of the focuses in the village for people to meet and cooperate and talk and generally feel part of the community itself.
At the end of the day, doing this and having this facility available to people, I think is extraordinarily good news. It's been hard work and it will continue to be hard work, but I think it's much appreciated by the number of people that come here, and those who are involved in doing it feel they've probably done something that's worth spending some time doing. Very satisfying.
Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing the way we've helped Worcestershire communities, and I hope you feel that you want to make your contribution. Every option's open to you, the way you contribute, whether you want to use your funds in a particular manner, or indeed whether you'd like to be involved in the grant-making decision. For more information, please call 01562 733 133 or email vicky@worcscf.org.uk. That's vicky@worcscf, that's WORCSCF.org.uk, and we'll be very pleased to talk to you.